Saturday on FS1, get ready for some fireworks as Fernando Tatis Jr. and the Padres take on Bryce Harper and the Phillies. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
Good stuff. There is an NBA trade, which I think has some value. I'm going to talk about it after we go to Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, Paul George had an incredible performance in the Clippers' win last night, but he's taken a lot of criticism over his postseason career, and he believes he gets singled out in a negative way more than any other star in the league.
I do, and it's the honest truth. It's a fact, but I can't worry about that. It's comes with the job. I guess. But, it is what it is. I still try to go and dominate. And so it is what it is. They can judge me on what they want to. That part don't matter to me. I'm going to go out there and hoop and give everything I got.
So I said, if we're going to acknowledge that Anthony Davis is actually a 2, but as talented as a 1, is it possible that Paul George, because of his inconsistency, is viewed as a 2, but he's actually just a lower-end 1, which is he does some things better than Kawhi. He does a lot of things as good as Kawhi, and he's way more available than Kawhi.
So the availability part, I agree with, because I am all in on consistency when it comes to that. Like, be there every night. That's why I think Eli Manning gets a lot of pushback, and I'm like, listen, you can think whatever you want about Eli Manning. That dude was on the field
every game.
You knew Eli was going to be
15 years.
Everybody else had to figure out the injuries and whatever. Like, he did not miss a game's injury in his career. There is value to that level of consistency. Might not be the greatest, but you're going to be there every day.
Yeah.
So you know what you're going to get from him. So that part I do agree with. But he is very inconsistent in big games. So I don't think that you can elevate Paul to an actual, total 1 if I really don't know what I'm going to get from you. I might get greatness.
Okay, but it's a very good, it's the best argument against me. But do I get what I think I'm going to get out of Harden in the playoffs? Paul George is a better playoff game than Harden a lot. And that's a guaranteed 1. And Harden just unravels in playoff games and gives me...
Yes, and I think that, but I think Harden gets criticism for... I think we're very high on James right now because of what we saw with him this year with the Nets during the regular season, stepping up the way that he did, playing very unselfish basketball. Like, it was a different version of James. So I think we're riding high on that. But I do think James gets a lot of criticism for his moments in the postseason as well.
But we view Harden as an absolute, no doubt about it, 1, but his style doesn't get the whistle in the playoffs. He doesn't give you anything on the defensive end, and he sometimes runs out of gas.
I don't know that I view Harden as an absolute 1.
Oh, I think the whole world don't they?
I think he's a superstar, but is he capable by himself of leading a team to a championship? Like, that's what an absolute 1 is to me.
Well, I mean, not by himself. I mean, Jordan needed Pippen. I mean...
Okay, but relatively speaking.
Yeah,
like Jordan, 1, no question. LeBron, 1, no question.
Game 7 playoff series tomorrow. Paul George or James Harden, do you want? I take Paul George because I get a way better defensive player, and I am going to get 44 minutes from him. I know where his head's at. So
that's tough.
It is. That's what makes it confusing. Is it possible Paul George is a weaker 1 and not a 2? Because I'm watching last night, and I'm like... He is taking, and it's not just the third quarter, but as good as Devin Booker is, I think a lot of people are about ready to make him a 1. He doesn't defend at all, or he's not a great passer for a 2. He's not a great defender yet. But we view everything through the prism of his shot maker.
And I don't think, like, we talk about 2 like it's the worst thing in the world to be a 2. Like, there's roles on championships teams. It's a team effort to begin with. But there is just a little bit extra in the 1. That's the person that can, as Cedric was just saying, is that person going to take, I am going to make sure we don't lose this game. I'm going to do that. And we know they're going to go do that. We know that if LeBron's like, all right, I'm going to go win this game, LeBron's going to do that. Paul might say he's going to do that, but is he capable of doing that?
If you take actual basketball fans, the knock against LeBron in the MJ-LeBron debate is Michael was better in the clutch. Okay. Using fans' arguments, playoff games are more important than regular season. Because if we're going regular season, LeBron blows Michael out of the water with every stat. So the playoffs matter more. Paul George, Game 7, James Harden in a series. I would take Paul over James Harden.
But there's like a lot of evidence that Paul's could just be completely inconsistent. He has 11 career playoff games shooting 25% or worse from the field. That's the most among all active players.
Well, he's been in a lot of them. In fairness, he's been in the playoffs every year for a long time.
Yeah, but like he's been the most inconsistent in those games. Like he is, I'm not going to bore everybody with all the numbers, but he's had some really crazy stinkers in the playoffs. There's like a reason this reputation exists.
Right.
It's not that Paul's not a great player. It's not that he's not a leader. It's not that he doesn't have the capability of greatness, because we've seen it. But it's the consistency that I think separates you from the rest of the team and the rest of the league.
And what I'm arguing is Harden has been way more inconsistent than maybe not than Paul, than we perceive. Also, maybe there's not actually that many true ones in the league. Six.
Like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Dame. I mean, once you start getting down the list, then you start seeing some holes in games, and then does that make you an actual one? So really, it's defining what a one truly is, and maybe there just aren't really that many of them. Because I would say Kawhi is a one, but Kawhi is also injured a lot. Where does that put him overall?
I would never build a franchise around Kyrie Irving, though I think he's brilliant. But I would never build a franchise around him, so therefore he's not a one. I would build one around Durant.
Right. You build a franchise around Steph Curry?
Yes.
Built multiple franchises around LeBron? Yes.
Anthony Davis? No.
Because he's too inconsistent with his body.
He's not committed to the game. He doesn't work as hard in the I want to be a one. I want some leadership. I want off season. I want you to be vocal. I'm not into chill guy.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So maybe we are thinking there are more ones in the league than there really actually are. I think
that's fair.
So after Michael Jordan's first retirement from the NBA in 1993, he pursued a career in baseball. And during an interview with Dan Patrick, which had a lot in it, Scottie Pippen revealed how he felt about Jordan's decision.
What did you think when he said he was going to go play baseball?
I didn't really think about it. I was really focused on my own craft at that time. But I thought
it was a big decision, though.
Yeah, it was a big decision, but it was a selfish decision. But it was kind of who Michael Jordan was, and was a guy that kind of believed that he can do anything on his own.
Yeah, I mean, he's not inaccurate that if you go back and read what really happened, Michael did not give the Bulls a big heads up. He was training with Tim Grover to do baseball before he told the team.
Right.
So I think if you got Michael on Truth Serum, he would acknowledge that he could have done a lot more to give the team a much greater heads up.
He was also in a very difficult place emotionally when he made that decision.
Because his father,
Correct.
Yeah. So we give Michael a little bit of a pass on that.
Well, I think I give Michael a pass on mostly everything, because I don't look at Michael or at any superstar or genius, to your point earlier, as somebody who's supposed to do things the way everyone else does it. That's why they're who they are. You can't be Michael Jordan and be everybody's buddy and make sure everybody's cool. You're going to spend all your time and energy doing that instead of putting time and energy into what's making you great. And yes, that sounds selfish, and it flies in the face of everything that we, as humans talk about morally and socially. But there are outliers in life. And that's how they become that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have potential and talent and genius, but what cultivates that to the next level is eliminating all distractions, eliminating several emotions, and building your support system in a way that allows you to be that level of great. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is.
Right.
You can't be chummy with everybody all the time if you're the greatest of all time. That's not how it works. So CBS Sports ranked the NFL head coaches heading into the 2021 season. Each of them was ranked with past performance and future outlook in mind. So basically look at this list as a coach's draft. If you were going to build a team around any of the current coaches, who would you pick? So here's their top 10. Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Sean McDermott, Sean McVay, Pete Carroll, Bruce Arians, Matt LaFleur, and Mike Tomlin at 10.
Well, Now, that's interesting. The game has changed.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with Reed over Belichick today.